Shiba Inu is actually a trend breaker. It is one that can often do opposite what the market is doing. And right now we've had a lot of this negative sentiment and uncertainty kind of set into the market and drop some prices of assets throughout the space, Shiba Inu included. But for the most part, it's actually done a very good job of doing the exact opposite of what the current sentiment is. In fact, the metrics are showing exactly this, and I want to get into this with you guys. I'm Luckside. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this article was actually talking about exactly this. It said, we went through this extended period of optimism. Market sentiment is now shifted. It's gone a little bit more bearish. We've seen FUD start to take over and really drop assets throughout the space. But SHIB is emerging as a project that is poised for gains instead of drops. So what we actually saw was a very large one-day drop in sentiment in terms of Shiba Inu. We experienced a 719% drop. And really what this had to do with was the sell-off that we experienced yesterday. Shiba Inu actually dropped into that kind of bearish range, right? We actually fell below our 20-day moving average like we talked about earlier yesterday. We actually ran all the way down to our 200-day moving average before actually a very nice pop back up. That's a very positive sign. Shiba Inu from an overall standpoint is still showing a very positive sentiment moving forward. Now, this negative sentiment across crypto is not surprising, right? BTC is kind of broken out. It's been falling the last few days. We're obviously seeing assets throughout the space go on a little bit of retracement, despite institutional money looking good, despite large holders continuing to accumulate. Those are very positive signs, but we're actually seeing a few things take place for Shiba Inu that are indicating more positivity moving forward. So for example, the current inflows that we're seeing in terms of Shiba Inu are on the positive side, and they have been increasing. Over the last 90 days, we've seen this large holder inflow surge by 554%. In fact, when we look at what large holders are doing in general, and the reason why I keep mentioning this is most of these entities, they accumulate and they plan on holding long term. And you guys can see the trend has been very, very positive. All right. Yesterday, again, another big day, 265 billion Shiba Inu added. But I want to point towards a couple other things just from an overall holder standpoint. So for example, we've actually seen the new adoption rate for Shiba Inu climb to close to 40%. We're sitting at about 38% yesterday, meaning that most transactions taking place in terms of Shiba Inu holders are ones that are doing it for the first time. And this is also reflected in what we've seen in terms of the amount of holders. In fact, in the last 2 weeks, we've added about 4,000 new DeFi holders in terms of Shiba Inu. This is typically a smaller sample size of what's taking place on exchanges as well. So we're actually seeing these things begin to pick up. We're seeing sentiment and positivity for Shiba Inu begin to pick up despite what's going on in the crypto market. And that's the reason why when we look at Shiba Inu price here, it's been very resilient. It's holding some higher levels while the rest of the market is actually setting kind of an inverse trend here, right? Now, I will say, unfortunately, we did not get our break out of our ascending triangle that we'd hoped for. We got kind of a fake out, right? And we actually dropped down below here. Unfortunately, the overall crypto market helped do that. Now, what we'll watch here is this actually a fake out? Is Shiba Inu actually doing one of these where it breaks out, comes down below, and then we get that extension? That's really what we're going to have to watch closely here. Now, I will say that, again, institutional money, like I talked about in my ADA video earlier today, is doing a very good job of being on the positive side. After a negative day 2 days ago, we had a nice inflow day yesterday of over about $200 million worth yesterday. BlackRock's still on the heavy buy. Whales are still on the buy. So I haven't given into this bearishness yet, right? I'm not buying this drop currently, not like physically buying, right? I'm accumulating as these opportunities are flashing in the charts. And again, if you guys check out my indicator, I'm sure there's been some buy zone opportunities over the last 24 hours, buy zone, little sell zone there, right? Waiting for another one to flash here. But the market is providing a lot of opportunities right now at prices that are a little higher than the bottom. But the thing is so many people get caught up in this negative sentiment and all the kind of negative crap that's going on. They think, oh, yep, we have to drop. That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm not buying that. I'm not sold on the fact that we're going to drop down. I see people talking about lower lows. Guys, this trend that we're seeing right now in terms of BTC and the overall crypto market, it's very different than this trend, right? We have started our reversal. Here is our inverse base, kind of an inverse head and shoulders, actually. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And then now we're working back up. We're setting higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. This is a reversal trend. All right. And what you need to know is that there are going to be dips on these trends, just like we experienced back here, just like we experienced back here, before moving on and sending prices higher. Shiba Inu going through a very similar trend. Going through a very similar trend here as well. You guys can see our big dip, right? Kind of that almost inverse head and shoulders. Not exactly that for Shiba Inu, but we again set a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And now we're trying to make this extension and set a little bit higher high again. It's a question of more so when it's going to happen than if it's going to happen. There's obviously no guarantees. Nobody knows what's going to happen in crypto. And in fact, we're closing in on this time that is very close to the election now, and that may have a little more impact as to what's going to take place here. It wouldn't surprise me if we have kind of a nice 2-week period of building into this election before the market trying to make a decision on direction one way or the other. But right now, despite sentiment being negative, metrics are looking positive. We'll obviously see if there's a change one way or the other, if there's a sentiment flip, if there's a metric flip, but things right now are actually looking pretty darn good. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. Where do you think Shiba Inu is headed from here? Maybe we can still pull out this 20% week. It's not looking great right now. We have obviously until Sunday for this to play out, but that sometimes these fake outs to the downside, they can flip around and start moving to the opposite direction very, very quickly. So appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.